Hi everyone. I'm often asked how I shade, and so today I recorded my screen while I worked on a commission. So to start, I'm always going to pick a color that I think would look good. In this case, I chose to go with a purple, since I'm shading a more pinkish color. And since I'm outlining the beans, which are meant to be more of a round shape, I'm kind of doing a curve around them. So I'm going to go ahead and color in all of those. For this, I just use a standard paintbrush. It can be textured if you want it to be. That doesn't really matter as long as you have a nice, clean shape for it and that you get down the color that you're looking for. And again, if you want it to be textured or a little more painted, that is totally fine as well. This will still work. So then I'm going to go and mess with the opacity. Oh, you can see here where I forgot to have the symmetry tool on since I'm working on an icon. And if you are using Procreate, that is a tool you can also have, is the symmetry tool for something like this, where if you shade one side and the two halves of your canvas are the same, then you can do the same thing on the other side. It is incredibly useful. So here I am going in with the pause again, just because I messed up the first time. And the reason I left this in here was to show that, like, yeah, people make mistakes and forget things, and it happens, and, it's totally normal. So here I'm going back in with the nose and just darkening up that bottom side. Now I'm going to play with the opacity. I usually go for multiply, but please feel free to try. I've tried overlay and hard light as well, and that is something that is sort of just what you think looks best. Next, I'm going in with a soft brush and airbrush and adding in a little bit of light where I think the light source would be coming from. And since I really want to emphasize the 3D effect of the beans, I'm adding a lot of light to their sort of middle. Here again, I realized I did not turn on the symmetry tool, and I decide to just go for it anyway. And that's when I realized, no, it's going to bother me if I don't do the symmetry tool. So I went back in. This was an icon for a client, so I wanted to make sure that I really got in the details. You can see here at the bottom that I even go over some of the areas at the bottom of the shadows to give a little bit more depth, like at the bottom of the nose right there. Once again, I'm going to play around with layer modes. I went with add this time, and I sort of turn it down a little bit so that it's not super, super bright. The final step for me is using this light pen. If you don't have a similar pen, that's okay. You can use any pen that you like for this and go and pick a nice light color. In this case, I'm using that same yellow from before, and also having that on add. Now I'm going around the edges of the beans and kind of adding a little bit of what's called a rim light, and that just really helps to have everything pop. So I'm going around all the beans, adding some highlights. And that's it. We're going to go through with the nose, and I'm going to add a highlight here straight in the middle and at the bottom. If you guys have any questions or want me to go in depth on anything else, let me know. But that's the basis of how I shade pretty much everything. I hope this helped you all.